Hi, everybody. Welcome to another exciting episode of Salon Marketing Live. I'm so happy that you're here with us today. And we have a super special guest joining us, Kati Whitledge. Hi, Kati.
Hey, how you doing, Stephanie? Hello, everybody.
Hi. Thank you so much for being here with us. And I absolutely love your professional setup. Your microphone sounds amazing, and it just looks like you're killing it with whatever it is that you're doing with your setup. So I'm going to ask you about that in a little bit, because I know you do podcasting and lots of production and that kind of thing. But first, I kind of wanted to give the Sparks Notes version of your amazing career. And I'll say it because I know sometimes it's awkward, like talking about yourself, but then I would love if you can also introduce yourself too. So for those of you who do not know Kati, I met her last year on her podcast, Beyond the Technique. And she is a salon owner. So she's the owner of Be Inspired Salon, which is a 7-figure business. And she has over 20 team members working with her, which is perfect because the topic that we're talking about today is growing your team, how to grow a successful team, how to train them, how to retain them, how to attract them. So if you have a beauty business, I know that this is going to be important for you as you're thinking about growing. So she has a beauty business. It's been named one of Salon Today's top 200 salons in North America, which is also that must have felt amazing to get that honor. She is also an industry educator and coach. So her mission is to equip salon owners and their teams with the most innovative business and marketing strategies. And I'm so happy to have her on the show today. Kati, thank you so much for being here. And I would kind of just love if you can start off by telling us just kind of maybe from a more personal perspective about yourself and how you came to be in the beauty industry and what your life is like today.
Well, thank you, Stephanie, for having me. As Stephanie mentioned, I am a salon owner. We have a salon in Madison, Wisconsin. I know Stephanie is joining us from Italy today, and that sounds even more fabulous than Madison, Wisconsin. It is very cool here, literally. January, February, March, coldest ever. But it's a ton of fun being in the Midwest. I grew up in a small town. I grew up a pastor's kid. I was kind of that naughty child who, kind of like the movie Footloose, if you've ever seen that, with the girl who was little. Yeah, that was me. And so when I turned 18, I said, I got to move to the big city of Madison, which for those of you who know, it's not really a big city. It just seems big when you grow up in a small town.
How many people are there in Madison?
So Madison's a population of about 250,000 people.
Okay, so it's kind of like average sized town, kind of.
And I came from a population of 10,000. So
for you, that was like a big move.
Yeah, so when I got to Madison, I realized, whoa, I can actually do a lot more partying here and not get caught. Whereas in the small town, everybody knew me, and I grew up having like 5 underage drinking tickets. I mean, you almost have to go out of your way to get 5. Like, what is going on? So it wasn't great. You know, I got here, I couldn't hold a job. I was not living a successful life, and I finally kind of hit that rock bottom that people go through when you're making decisions that aren't healthy. And it was really, to me, I have to just tell you, it was God. God entered my life. I feel like he saved me. He opened my eyes, and it was like all of a sudden I realized that the way I was living was not the life I was meant to live. And so I cut off all ties with my friends. I moved out of where I was living. I got my own place. And I was a little bit in solitude for a little bit. So I just went to school and went to work, and that was it. Mm-hmm. I eventually decided, you know what, I'm going to go the cosmetology route, because I could look at people, and based on their face shape, their skin tone, I could really identify and have the vision for what would look great on them. So I was very successful during beauty school and entering into the industry first as a hairstylist. But what I found was I had the vision, but my execution wasn't elite. I wasn't going to be a master craftsman at this particular role, and that was okay. I wasn't bad. I had built a huge following, so much so that I came to a point where I had to decide, do I go into my own booth because simply I need the room to take on all of the guests and possibly have an assistant, or do I open a salon? And with the vision I've kind of always had, I knew that opening a salon was the right route.
So before you did that, you out of school, you started working at a hair salon.
Yep.
And then how did you get, you said you had a really big following. How did you build that up? Was it thanks to the salon and the fact that they brought in so many people to you, or were you doing kind of your own self-promotion?
I think it was a great combination. I had an owner who saw me for who I really was and wasn't trying to kind of push me down and keep me in check. She really allowed me to thrive, and we had an awesome location. We were right inside one of the largest fitness facilities in the area. So there were thousands of people coming to this fitness facility that we could get in front of. Yeah. But did I hit the pavement on foot myself? Yes. Guerrilla marketing's always been a strategy of mine in building that clientele, but she allowed me to kind of implement my own marketing ideas and strategies, which was really cool. She had a unique business model where when you became a hairstylist at her salon, you started off as an employee and eventually transitioned into an independent contractor. Now, I would not recommend that business model, and to this day, she doesn't do that any longer because there are some different challenges with that kind of a model. But for me, by transitioning, I got this taste of what it was like to be an entrepreneur, to create my own strategies for business, marketing, client retention, referral programs, all of those things. So that's where I got to this point of being double, triple booked all the time. The quality of my work was not accelerating because I was just scrambling to make sure I could take care of everybody.
Right, yeah. It was almost like that's kind of what you dream of happening. And then once it ends up happening, you're like, this isn't the way that I wanted it to be. Like, I wanted to have an amazing clientele, but I didn't want to be like stressed like this.
Well, and especially, the 2008, 2009, when the recession had hit, it was either increased prices significantly, which I know would be at that point of time just hurtful for guests. I thought, okay, well, the only other way is to divide and multiply. So I actually gave a 60-day notice to the salon owner. I shared my vision with her. To this day, we will still have coffee once in a while. We support each other, and that was really cool. So when I opened Be Inspired Salon, we started off with just a team of 2. It grew quick,
How did you find your first, was that essentially you were the salon owner and you actually employed this other person, or were you partners, or how did it work?
Well, I'm all about networking. So I shout it from the rooftops. I reach out to every professional that I know, regardless if they're in a salon, if they're independent. Who do you know? And I had somebody say, hey, we have a friend who's moving here from the Milwaukee area and needs to find a salon. So I met with her and went through that interviewing process with her. And I was like, look, we're going to get after this together, and I want you to be a part of this. And it was really humbling to sit back and reflect and think, wow, somebody came on board knowing that this salon has no brand recognition. I was promising to give my clients to them, but would that actually happen? Would they make a living? She took a risk on joining me. 1 month later, I had another stylist fresh out of school, again, take that risk when you starting out as a nobody really, and having to depend on the work ethic and the drive about what we were going to bring to the table for them. So again, I will share this. Guerrilla marketing was everything when we first started. We were all about how do we get new clients in the door without having to offer discounts. So every campaign and marketing initiative to grow our clients was based on valued-based marketing. So what does that look like? Well, I had a ton of gift cards created. $25 or even $50 gift cards. And we were giving them away as gifts. So it is like free money. It's still at the checkout line. It's taken off the bill, similar to a discount, but it's never marketed as a discount. We wanted to find clients who would value our price point, value the different experience they were going to have at our salon. And I'm proud to say that we grew very quickly. In 2013, so we opened in 2010 with 2 stylists. By 2013, I believe we had like 6 or 7. We actually moved into the space next door to our salon. We doubled the amount of working space.
Wow.
Still just 1,150 square feet. But by the time we were exiting that location, we were at 19 employees.
Oh my gosh. So you were like busting at the seams, I guess.
It was, to this day, I feel like people will joke at the new location, and I'll say, do you ever even think about that salon location? And one of the girls said, I have nightmares about it sometimes. Like, because you were on top of each other, and we were all used to it at the time, but it didn't necessarily reflect the brand we worked so hard to build. We needed to get into our new swankier location. And so in July of 2018, we moved into a new location less than 3 miles from where we were at. It's 2,500 square feet, 14 stations, just beautiful.
Wow.
And it's grown tremendously even now. So it's been quite the ride.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, I was saying like in the introduction, so you have 20 people working there, 20 team members right now at Be Inspired Salon. You've gone through 3 expansions, you said, in the 8 years that you've been there. You've been named one of Salon Today's top 200 salons in North America. And you're a 7-figure business. It sounds like it's just up from here. So, I mean, I want to talk about that journey of how you got to the 20 team members that you have today, which is a huge accomplishment on its own. But I wanted to ask you first, those first few years, so let's say like the first 3 years, you were already able to grow your staff to 6, 7, maybe 8 team members. How did you do that? What do you attribute your first early success to? So you said guerrilla marketing, and I love talking about marketing. So you did the gift cards, and that sounds like a great idea, but maybe you can tell me some other things that kind of set you guys apart and what you did to promote yourselves in the early years.
Well, since I sent you a little bio about where we're at as the 3 different companies that we're running, we do have 28 team members now.
Oh my gosh. Okay, yes. So
back in the beginning, though, and I'll just say the reason I bring up marketing is because I wrote a book that released in March of this year, and it's called Build Your Best Team This Year, and it's all about recruiting. And one of the basic principles is that as salon owners, we need to think about how tenacious are we with our marketing to get new clients in the door. I think we're pretty aggressive. Mm-hmm. We're active. We're intentional. Those same exact principles, strategies, have got to be adopted and employed when it comes to recruiting new talent.
Yeah.
Which means, how do we grow our team? Well, we're willing to, just like we're willing to go to our local chamber events and network and get to know people, we need to be willing to go locally to the beauty schools, showing up to all of their career fairs, nights, special events that they have. We need to be present in building that community face to face.
Right.
So we have the live opportunity where we're face to face with people. We also need to have the digital side. So as much as our website is built to connect with the perfect client, is it also built to connect with that perfect stylist that you want to join your team? Are we speaking to the kind of person that would be a right fit for our culture? Mm-hmm. Are we giving them the opportunity to apply right through our website and go through kind of an easy digital experience with that? Because that's what the newer crowd is looking for. Same with our social media. Are we specifically posting about joining the team on a regular basis, what it's like to be on the team, how they can start the interviewing process?
Yeah.
That is something that we put into place that becomes a consistent, ongoing, never-ending strategy in regard to recruiting.
Yeah, that is something, I mean, recruiting, that's the topic of today, and it is something that salons struggle with so much, as you know, of where do I find good people? And when I do find them, how do I prevent them from leaving me? Because it seems like I'm always like bringing on new team members, and then maybe a few years later, they've gone somewhere else. And I want to talk about all of that. And also like, so what are some of your ideas for training and recruiting, etc.? So maybe you can tell us, so now you're at 28 team members. In these years that you've grown, can you tell us like what have been the big things that you've done, first of all, to attract the right team members? Because I'm guessing, I mean, it might not be that hard to hire somebody, but to hire somebody who's actually right for your culture and for your team and who's going to be in it for the long run. How do you find those people?
Well, of course, we go through periods of trial and error, because one of the mistakes we make during interviewing is thinking that we're going to read somebody and figure them out in a short amount of time. So we ask the wrong questions. We're going to get answers that really aren't relevant to speak into the way this person is going to fit into the culture. I will say, when it comes to recruiting, I think as salon owners, we are pretty good intuitively with knowing if somebody looks like, feels like, and embodies our brand and our culture. Getting to that heart of who somebody is, I think we can kind of see that, but their work ethic, the just kind of behaviors they're going to have, we need to really look at their past. I mean, your past typically predicts your future. And so in the book, I've kind of spelled out the exact questions for the phone interview process, for your face-to-face, all of those things to help prevent you wasting time on the wrong people. So I'm hoping that would be helpful for everybody.
Yeah, of course. And can you say the name of the book again, Kati?
Yeah, it's called Build Your Best Team This Year.
Okay. And if someone wants to check out the book, buy it, where can they find it?
So if they go to beyondthetechnique.com and click on the little shop button, it's $10. It's in an ebook format, so they will download it. They'll have it right in their hands today, the minute they go and get it, which is nice.
Awesome. Okay. So you give them tips for essentially how to set up the interview and what kind of questions to ask, etc., so that you make sure that this person is the right fit for your team.
Yep, it's the third part of the book. You know, part one, we're going to talk about, as leaders and salon owners, who do we need to be in today's climate to attract the right kind of people? Are there certain behaviors or tendencies that we have that are actually kind of shooting us in the foot, and we don't realize it till we've had our third walkout? Okay, so that's part one. Part two is tenacious recruiting, kind of those things we need to do to get in front of a ton of people. So part of the issue is that we tend to put out that we're looking for a new stylist the minute somebody leaves.
Yeah.
Instead of having something just set on a reoccurring basis. Or we tend to, well, I'll just say that there's so much to that. There's the in-person, and then there's the digital aspect of recruiting. So we go through all that. And then the third part is the nuts and bolts of hiring. What are those exact processes that we can follow that help not only find the right person, but prevent us from bringing on the wrong person? But back to the marketing, when we think about who's our perfect client, we kind of create that avatar, right? We call her, let's say, Michelle. Michelle embodies all of these things. I would just urge salon owners to do that same thing for your perfect stylist. Who is she or he? What is their name? Call it out. Put an image to it, and write down all the things that they value. What are the kind of, what's their behavior like? Do they treat each other like family? Do they respect each other? Spell it all out just like you would for that perfect client. And just by putting it out there, you're going to start attracting what you put out, right? It's the law of attraction.
Yeah, I love that. So you were talking about a lot of people, when they want to recruit, they're reactionary and they're like, oh my gosh, this person left me. They get in a panic. They start posting everything. Instead of doing it that way, you said it's all about consistency. So how can somebody be consistent in constantly kind of putting the word out and broadcasting and promoting their salon to their ideal stylist that they want to hire?
Well, again, let's look at what are we doing to get in front of clients. We have to get a certain number of clients in the door every month. That's a lot, probably more than the number of recruits that you're looking for. So what are those same things? So I would say, number one, we've got to look at the website. Is it built to communicate with your perfect new team member? Do you have the different, positions that are available listed? Yeah. And do they communicate not only the work that is going to be expected, but just the essence of the role, kind of the mission. We think about creating a mission statement for our business, but what about a mission statement for each role? When somebody steps into this role, it's bigger than just the tasks you're doing. You are somebody special who brings something so good to the team that from start to finish for the guest, if we don't all work together, we're not going to knock it out of the park. So how important is each individual role and really speaking into those things? So website's number one. Number 2 are all of those same places that people go and search. So if I'm a client looking for a new salon, I'm probably going to go on Google. Well, isn't that the same behavior that somebody has if they're trying to look at the different salons to apply at? I'm probably going to search online, hair salons or hairstyles positions in Madison, Wisconsin.
Right.
And that's pull up opportunities, again, that tie back to the website.
Yeah, so like blogging or different pages on your website, any type of content that if a potential stylist or team member would search for it, they would get your website.
Absolutely, 100%. And I love that you brought up blogging. I would create a blog based on the keywords somebody might use to search and really speak into the life of a stylist at our salon. And I love that you brought that up. Second to Google is YouTube. How many stylists are on YouTube constantly looking at different tutorials? Can you start putting out videos of maybe just 2-minute tutorials or 2-minute testimonials, I should say, from the stylist? Ask your stylist, hey, I'd love for you to share in 2 minutes, what has it been like to be a stylist at our salon? And they answer back, I want to share what it's been like to be a stylist at Be Inspired Salon. And then they go into that. And that little content creation on YouTube is huge because it's the second top visited search engine. The third is still Facebook, actually. Okay, so even if they're predominantly on Instagram, they're still on Facebook, and Facebook has the power of targeting specifically for jobs. So if you're a salon owner with a business page, you can create a hairstylist position, and then you can go in and target specifically the candidates you're looking for if they're interested in different beauty schools or brands. I love that. But also Instagram. Of course, that's huge.
Yeah.
And so one of the things I'd recommend is just building posts about the life of being a stylist at your salon, some of those perks, and always remember that call to action of like, hey, if this looks like and feels like it could be the right place for you to grow in your career, click here to apply. And make it just very easy for them. But yes, those are just some of the digital things that we can do on a regular basis.
Yeah, those are such great hints. So have you had good success yourself with hiring through Facebook job offers?
We have. I mean, I'll tell you, we have to be so specific. So one of the things about Facebook is you put out your post, but then they allow you to ask a few questions. So you want to be smart about the questions you're asking because you're really trying to filter through the people who are constantly looking for a job. They may not be able to hold one. They're not the same kind of level or quality of candidates you're looking for. So those few questions that you are able to ask are going to help you filter out who's serious about this and who's not.
Yeah, that's great. And then with Instagram, for example, I guess, like you said, it's a matter of creating content, targeting the right people by actually not just saying, hey, we're hiring, but targeting people who would feel an affinity to what your business is all about and kind of applying the emotional aspect of it too, I'm guessing.
Well, absolutely. Thinking about it, if you were in their shoes, what about your salon? Would they be interested? What opportunities do you feel like would really be fulfilling for them or exciting to them? So one of the onboarding options that we have for our new talented stylists is to be mentored by a master stylist. Okay, so instead of coming in and you have maybe months of training and then you're on the floor and it's on you, instead we have an opportunity for you to work with a master stylist as their assistant 3 to 4 days per week.
Yeah.
They will teach you once a month advanced education in addition to what the salon offers. And because you're typically with them about 3 days per week, you still have one opportunity day per week to do your own clients, slowly building your own clientele, your own identity as a stylist in the midst of that mentorship. So by the time that you are on the floor full time after 1 year, you are more confident than you'd ever be. Your communication skills are phenomenal. You have different competency levels from watching the very best on the team. And you've already built a clientele. Yeah. So when you're on the floor, you're ready to rock and roll, and you're I guess you kind of take that year, which is a slower pace. It goes by quick. But after that, you accelerate so much faster than most. So that program has been massive for us. And the key in all this is to shine a light on your masters, sharing with these candidates. Look at the work they've done. Look at the relationships they built. Look at all of the accomplishments they've had. And you have the opportunity to work with them. I mean, making it all about their success, not necessarily how successful the salon is, because that's naturally going to happen when you help build the success of your stylist.
Yeah, that's awesome. So again, that's a great way of attracting them, of also showing, okay, this is the kind of training and experience and skill set that you're going to have access to in your first year. And just look at how we also are not just all about promoting our business, but we're about promoting and kind of, like you said, shining a light on our stylists as well. So it's also a way of showing, okay, this is a business that actually really cares about my development.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. So that was going to be my next question for you, Kati, is, okay, so you have a 28-member team now, which is amazing. What are some of the things that you do in maybe the first year or the first few years that they're there to help kind of like develop them and bring them up to the level that you know that they need to be at to be a good representative of your business?
Well, actually, I want to push back on that, because I when I'm coaching salon owners, I often say, allow your level 1 protege stylist, fresh out of school, allow them to be a beginner, and be okay giving them grace as they become better technically. It's more important that they learn how to confidently communicate with guests, how to love on them. There's a lot of forgiveness in the technical arena if I can love my guests hard and well.
Yeah.
And so just being patient and giving them room for failure, and knowing that this is a safe place, that you don't have to be as good as the very best, because someday that'll happen. It's kind of like if you go to a restaurant and you're sitting down and your waitress comes up to you and says, hey, they're super friendly, but they're like, I just want you to know it's my second day, so I'm going to do my best. There may be questions I'll have to ask, but I just want you to know that I'm going to do my best to take care of you. How much greater is their tip? How much more softened is my heart towards this, waitress or waiter now that they've shared that with me? Just first off, giving the platform for people to be a beginner, helping them grow, and then marketing them in that way, bringing more models in, willing to sacrifice the fact that you're maybe not earning the amount you could with a different stylist, but you're building their confidence. By the time they do the floor, they're still hourly for a period of time. I could get into all that, but you are still going to get a return on that investment, and it's going to be worth it, just you being patient and allowing them to grow in that way. Okay, but of course, in addition to that, we offer once per month advanced education. That's in addition to what their master stylist is going to provide for them. So we have had names like Sophie Polk. You may know her on Instagram as Stay Gold 31. She's been named the best global barber ever. We say ever, but year after year she's been named best for barbers. She's amazing. We've had Andrew Carruthers in our salon. We bring in speakers like Jay Williams, who teach topics that go beyond the technical aspects of being behind the chair. Yeah. And the list goes on. Daniel Kainer. I mean, it's been awesome.
That's awesome. So you're providing all of these training opportunities to your team that they probably wouldn't be able to get anywhere else. That is so valuable for them.
I think the cool part is actually the team decides. So we come together and meet and we say, hey, who are some of the big name guest artists that we'd want to bring in? And so we want their buy-in first. It's harder for me to say, ooh, I know this cool person, and they're like, I have no idea who that is. I don't know if I want to spend $400 or do a co-op with the salon where we share in that investment, or even if it's on them. So that's where we want to make sure that not only are we going to provide amazing education, but we want to bring in names that are exciting to the team members.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. And then going back to what you said before about it's not just about the technical skill. It's when you bring on new team members, you also are, like you said, allowing them to be a beginner, but putting a huge focus on the customer service aspect of it. So do you also, what kind of training or development do you do for them in terms of providing that amazing service to clients?
Yeah, and of course, Beyond the Techniques platform is all about that kind of training. But since that's geared more for salon owners and their leadership teams, one of the companies that we even chose to work with, they consult with us. They're called Beauty Backbone. They're out in San Diego. Carrie Davis is one of the owners. Carla Lopez Martinez is another owner. And they work together with our directors of education to provide all of the training resources. And I love that they actually teach people how to teach. You know, oftentimes your best people will go and take this amazing class, and then they come back and they're like, well, yeah, but I don't know how to replicate teaching it. Like, I took it and I get it, but I don't know how to. So that was huge, an investment for us. We're very grateful for that. And of course, being intentional about bringing speakers in. So when I brought up Jay Williams, for example, he has actually visited our salon twice this year. One time we have him on the topic of retail, sales, and how it's really not tied to sales at all. And we shouldn't even call it retail. Super interesting. And then the second was on building trust by soliciting feedback and just understanding, again, that your buyer is an emotional human being. So what matters to them, why they buy, all of those things we kind of want to break down so that we can understand people better. At the end of the day, that's what we're doing here. We're, hair color or hair cutting is our vehicle, but our actual commodity is building relationships.
Yeah.
So that's what we work on. And of course, we have some specific expectations in place. Every one of our stylists has their own work email. So it would be Stephanie at theinspiredsalon.com, for example. The reason we have that is we expect after you have a new guest in your chair, we want you to reach out directly to them and follow up with them.
Yeah.
Who does that? We do. And that all those little things mean everything and will set you apart from your competitors.
I know. It's like shocking to me. I've been to so many new hair salons or nail salons or any sort of beauty business, and I go there for an appointment and I never hear from them again until it's my turn to reach out and be like, okay, it's time for my next appointment. I don't get a personal touch. I don't get the feedback. I don't get the follow-up. And I feel like it's something that's so missing. And on top of that, you're saying personally the stylist is reaching out.
Yeah, we really wanted that. I know owners who are a little fearful, like, well, what if they accumulate all these contacts and go leave? And I think, well, look if somebody's built to leave, they're going to leave. And you cannot operate out of fear or even the scarcity mindset, right? If you're creating an environment where it's so good, why would anybody want to leave?
Yeah.
That's the focus. That's what should drive you, and empowering your team to take ownership of their role and giving them the tools that they need. They won't get that anywhere else. They can't do it without you. How can you work together and create that win-win and that balance? So that's not a fear for us. In fact, it's an expectation. We want you to be in contact with your guests. The front desk shouldn't be playing a middleman. If somebody calls in and says, I can't remember that product they recommended and I feel like I'm struggling, now I got to go find the stylist, take a note, make sure it's communicated, make sure if the client has access directly to their stylist, that is going to change the game for their experience from start to finish. And it alleviates the pressure off your front desk members, allowing them to have more phone calls and converting callers into clients.
Yes. Oh, that's amazing. That's so great. And I really hope that a lot more salons do that, because I haven't seen it that much, but I can see the huge value in creating that relationship with them. So Kati, I want to ask you about something else we haven't touched on yet. It is Meet Your Stylist. So this is your product. This is your baby. This is your platform. Can you tell us a little bit more about it, how it works, and where the idea came from behind it?
Sure. So Meet Your Stylist is this savvy survey that lives on our salon website that people who are visiting our website are seeing this, and they're like, of course, I want to discover which stylist here is the best fit for me. So it's engaging them. They take this short survey. It takes less than 5 minutes. We're capturing their information, and boom, it pops up with their top 3 stylists at our salon that are the best fit for them based on their values, lifestyle preferences, DISC personality profiling, and love languages. And then when they see their top 3 results, right away we're saying, hey, book right now, book online, call us to book. So all these call to actions are built right in. It's really been cool. I originally wanted this program for my own salon because we got in this position where our front desk would ask these questions, try to identify this guest and their personality a little bit, but really it was more so, what services are you looking to get done? And then we'd get them in the door with somebody, and there could be that disconnection, and then they just wouldn't come back again. See, that's the issue, is if a client doesn't have a great experience the first time, they actually don't want to come back again because they're afraid that they're going to run into the stylist who saw them last time. And it's actually because of our fear of rejection. We don't want to be rejected. We also don't want to make others feel rejected.
Right.
So they'd rather avoid that pain point altogether than to come back and then see that girl or guy who did their hair the last time. They want to avoid it. So we're like, you know what? If we could allow people the space to know that there are more than one stylist here that's a great fit for them, hence the top 3.
Right.
That could open up doors of opportunity. Secondly, if we can match them up correctly the first time, this would get rid of all the issues. Because I have a stylist who's awesome at bobs. Because you're looking for a bob. Of course I want to put you with her. She's amazing at bobs, but she has a more timid personality. She wants you to tell her what you want so she can please you. Where I have other stylists who are going to say, honey, you need this haircut. Trust me, right? So because each stylist has a different personality, a different, the way they can kind of control their time behind the chair, they're going to attract different clients. So how do we just make sure we make that connection? So it's really like matchmaking, but it's built for salons with at least 5 stylists on their team. We have salons using it throughout US and Canada. It's been a really cool community to be a part of. And absolutely, we want more salons to get on board. Those who are very savvy in marketing and I want them to be ready to make Meet Your Stylist a huge part of their marketing strategy because it is a conversion tool for your website. Yes, it's going to absolutely increase your retention rates, but can it be a lead magnet, a lead generation tool? 100% if you're willing to work the program. So for those of people who are serious about it, we'd love for them to contact us, build that relationship. It's been really neat to see how much growth we've had. I'll tell you, in our new salon, our goal has been to get 225 new clients in the door per month. We have yet to hit it because we're in this new spot. We still have growth to go. And finally, last month in August 2019, we had 245.
Yay! That's awesome. So you hit your goal and you exceeded it.
Yeah. So again, I could go on about it, but it's been a tremendous asset for our marketing strategy.
That is so cool. So if someone is interested in checking out Meet Your Stylist, they have a salon, maybe five team members or more. How do they, contact you or download it or find out more about this tool?
Well, right away, they could go to meetyourstylist.com and they can sign up. If you have more than 5 salon locations, email me personally. We'll get you into an enterprise package. And my email is Kati, Kati, at meetyourstylist.com. And we'll just begin that conversation. And absolutely, for those who want that demonstration of how it works, first come to the website, fill out that little thing that says, I want a demo, and we'll set that up with them.
Oh, that's so cool. So you build this tool out of your own need, which is always the best place for an idea and a product to come from. Since you have implemented it for your own salon, you said it's twofold. You said it's lead generation and conversion, but also client retention. Can you tell us a little bit more about how those 2 parts have worked for your business? Like what kind of changes or impact you've seen for your own business? And is it more lead generation or is it more retention for you?
Okay, so it's a marriage between all, but let me just start with if people are hearing about you on social media, or you have a print ad, or they hear about you on the radio, or straight up Google salons, maybe they go to Yelp, where do they land before they ever come and do business with you? 90% of the time, people are going to your salon website before they actually come into your salon. And out of all the people landing on your website, over 80% of them are new prospects. They've never been there. They're trying to decide, is this the kind of place I want to go? Do they seem to value what I value? So if I see as a new prospect, which are the majority of your website viewers, this opportunity to see which stylist at the salon is a great fit for me, Is that engaging enough for me to want to take action and fill it out? Well, absolutely, because it's all about me.
Yeah, that's true. And people love doing like quizzes and like giving information. You know, we love to kind of like see, that's why BuzzFeed quizzes became so popular, right? It's because we love to see things that are kind of tailored for us based on our answers.
Yes. And the cool thing is you don't have to wait and have an email sent to you. You're going to get your results right away in front of you, which is perfect. So that's really the main goal is if you look at your Google Analytics, I know that we have about 10,000 website visitors per month. Well, what are you doing with all of them? How do you get in front of them?
Mm-hmm.
There's so can it be a lead magnet? Of course, you could take this and put out a social media post. Let's say you put out a post with pictures of your team and said, you know, hey, if you're new to the area and you're looking for that perfect stylist, take our quick Meet Your Stylist survey to find out which stylist at our salon is your salon soulmate.
Yeah.
Okay, because it'd be super cute. Of course, you can use it in all these areas as a way to capture and get leads. But I'm telling you, you already have these people visiting your website and nothing's happening.
Yeah.
They're leaving your site. Are they deciding to come in and do business with you? And this is where we want to capture that opportunity that already exists.
Yeah.
And retention is just a byproduct of it working.
Yeah, for sure. So it's essentially, like you said, of retaining people if maybe that stylist wasn't right for them, recommending them a different one, and then also retaining them because they're like, oh my gosh, like I finally found not only a great salon that's, you know, right for me, but the stylist really spoke my language. They really seem to understand me. When you vibe with the person who's doing your hair or your nails or whatever it is, you kind of feel like, okay, this person gets me. I'm going to go back because of that stylist.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we have so many testimonials about that very topic. It's been powerful because the power really is in the stylist's hands. So the salon owner signs up, they add their team to their roster, and that stylist's one and only responsibility is to go and take their version of the survey, choosing who do I do my best work with. And that is where the gold is. And it's been really cool to just be a part of it. I can't believe that it is where it is today and is continuing to grow. And again, it all comes down to this community. These salon owners are savvy. They get it. It's been fun to work with them. They push me to make sure we have new enhancements at all times that help it become even more sophisticated. So I'm very grateful.
Oh, awesome. I love that. So, Kati, I'm going to wrap it up, but thank you so much for being here on the show with us. I loved, getting the inside scoop in how you've developed your business. It's amazing what you've achieved, not only with Be Inspired, but also with Beyond the Technique and Meet Your Stylist. So it's so cool to hear about your 3 different businesses and how they're kind of all combined. So if someone wants to get in touch with you, you said it's Kati at beyondthetechnique.com, Kati, right?
That comes to me too. Yeah. So Kati there's like literally 16 probably emails that we have. But yeah. So Kati at beyondthetechnique.com, Kati at meetyourstylist.com. I mean, they all work. You can just even go through the website and it can be forwarded on to me from our team members. So, yeah.
And in addition to that, one thing that we didn't talk about was the coaching and the kind of one-to-one work that you do with salon owners as well.
What I would encourage, if people are wondering if I would be the right fit as a coach, because of course I mentioned Beauty Backbone, they do coaching. There's other great companies out there that offer salon coaching. If you want to know, would Kati be the right fit to help me where we're at? I would just say, hey, go to our YouTube. Go to Beyond the Techniques YouTube page. You're going to see some of the webinars we have done. If you go to our website, you're going to see upcoming webinars. You can shop the different classes that we have. Those online classes are great resources. And if after that time you feel like, yes, I want to work one-on-one with her, just fill out our form on our website, beyondthetechnique.com, and you and I will begin that conversation and dive into your salon business.
Awesome. Great. Well, again, thank you so much for taking the time to be here, Kati. It's been so amazing and interesting and just so inspiring to hear your story. and for you to share some more about how you've grown your team and trained them and retained them and just all the great things you've done with your business. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Stephanie. This is fun. Thanks for having me.
All right, everyone. I will see you again next week, same time, same place for another Salon Marketing Live. Bye, everyone.
Bye.